Welcome back to Goldenridge. Today we're kicking off a major industrial district and locking in the permanent interchange for our Mountain Pass Highway to finally put a rest to all this traffic. So let's get to work. All right, so last time we wrapped up this little town of Bridgehead, and many of you had the same comment, which is that there is no slip track here or bypass track for the train, and that all the train traffic has to come through here. And you are all absolutely correct. So we will be adding that. The only really thing I did between last time and this time is add a dedicated left turn lane here that, of course, up until this very moment had mostly cleared up the traffic, although it looks like this guy is causing some problems. So let's just get rid of him. Let's see if that solves nothing. All right. Well, it was going much better. There had been traffic all the way up here into Auburn, which now is mostly just here. And you know, it's not the most efficient intersection here, but I think that's fine. I've been particularly just off the top of my head on the Oregon coast. There are kind of a main highway that runs the coast, and every time you get to a town like this, the highway goes right through, and there's lots of traffic in it. So fairly realistic, unfortunately. But first things first, let's go ahead and look at a rail here, and then we're going to see if we can't solve our giant intersection problem where this town meets our big city. So I'm just going to grab a track. This should be pretty simple. Luckily, we already have enough space for this. Just going to turn snapping off here since this is not going quite where I want it to go. So we'll put that in about there. And we'll get snapping back on here. And this should be able to link up right around here. I don't know why we're getting this little weirdness here. Let's see if we can't solve that somehow. There we go. Kinda. And just kind of pull that over a little bit. Oh boy. Oh, and there it is. That's looking super janky. So let's try that again. I'm not sure quite why that's being so weird. Must just be the angle I'm coming in at, but so we'll grab this again. I thought this was going to be real easy. There we go. And then on this side, the same train is going to get all messed up again. Sorry about that, sir. Oh, yeah, a little bit. So I'm just going to clear out these trees real quick. All right, got those out of there. So here you go. So that should hopefully satisfy the train folks that I deeply offended and had every right to be offended by. So let's just kind of get our textures and surfaces back here so that this is feeling nice and detailed. No, there we go. And we'll just get some trees in here as well to kind of divide some stuff up. And let's see, we'll go with kind of these medium and large, and we can just kind of fill this area here a little bit. And look at that, it's already working. So that's great. And I'm just gonna get some little bushes in here just around where this is looking especially janky. Just kind of fill that in, and hopefully we can hide that a little bit. And how's it looking on this side? It kind of looks okay, but we'll still just kind of get that in. So there we go. So that is that. And actually, while we're on it, the other place that I don't know that anyone called out specifically, but that probably needs it would be here. This one's a little trickier because of the curve made it easy on the other one. So let's see if we can't just, especially with that road, I might have to just get rid of that. Let's get rid of Crescent Lane, which I think is fine. And get a track in like that. This one is going to be quite a bit more snug. I think we can make it work. That should... This one's looking a little aggressive, so let's see if we can't move this down a little bit. Move it back just a little bit here. And then get our curve a little smoother. There we go. And then we'll just get rid of all these. Maybe we just scoot them over because I kind of like the... Let's see, so plants should cover and... No, not decals. Plants. Let's see if we can't just kind of... So rocks count as props? They do. Okay, good to know. So we can just move these little clusters off, and so we can still kind of keep them, because I like the, you know, sparse little tree area that we've got kind of going here. And all right, there we go. So that's the two main kind of bypass tracks that I think were needed. I don't know if anyone had really called this one out much. I know you guys went, whoa. How does a car end up all the way up here? Or all the way out? Yikes. I wish I could see these happen sometimes. I always just see the aftermath. I'd love to see the animation of a semi-truck flying off the road and landing all the way out here. Anyway, this is the bypass track that you guys got real angry about, which was totally valid. So that is fixed. Let's see. This cargo train should use it once this passenger train passes. And it does. All right. Cool. Well, that is that. So let's take a look at our highway. Okay. So I've been looking at this and trying to think exactly what we're going to do here. Of course, now there's actually no traffic here, which is very rare. But so I think if we think about what we want to do, we want to get traffic off of this highway over the bridge to be able to reroute easily onto the Sierra Pass highway. And then we want people from, and also, you know, coming from other places to be able, if they're coming from this way, to get onto the Sierra Pass highway. We also want people from the Sierra Pass highway to be able to do the opposite. So I think what makes sense, rather than kind of, I thought about kind of rebuilding and reconfiguring all of this, and that felt a little daunting. So I think what we'll do, and actually I think it makes a lot of sense, is to just take this and cut it straight over and let there be a little intersection here, or interchange here, that allows traffic to go, you know, kind of wherever. And then we need to get, we have an well, it's not connected. We do have an on-ramp here, but I think we'll also get another on-ramp somewhere in here so that people can come you know, if they get off this highway here, they could come along and get back on here, or they'll still be able to do this. I also think we need to update this because I've never liked this. It was, I don't know that it was temporary, but it was kind of the solution I had at the moment, and I think we can do something better. So for starters, let's redirect the Sierra Pass Highway. Okay, so I think we'll hit pause here because we're going to destroy a whole bunch of road. Starting about there, basically all of that. And in order to pass this, actually we're going to go even farther back because I never liked that curve. Also, I want to elevate this over our train track with a little terraforming. So let's see, I think we can maybe just basically keep this height. And I'm not sure if that might be enough for trains, but let's go up like a couple more steps here just to be safe. So we'll kind of bring all that in, and then I wanted to kind of run it up through this. So we'll just kind of scatter that in, and then I'm going to take the slope tool, and not quite so big, but a little stronger, and go from here so we can get a nice, smooth kind of transition there, and then that's all good. And then we're gonna, I think, just soften this up a little bit. So that'll work, and then let's go back to our 4-lane, 2-way highway. And we're even going to go back one more because I just want to make sure this is kind of... I just didn't like the curvature of that before, but I think that is going to be much better. Although I actually want it... Let's see. So where do I want to go through this? Actually, I guess right there is pretty good. So 80... Not quite, though. So right about, I think we wanted about there. And then we'll have to replace this part. But yeah, okay, so let's go back, and then we'll add a couple of nodes here in order to kind of dictate where the bridge starts and ends. I really wish there was somehow a better way to do that, but so that will work. And I think might have to lower the train track a little bit. Let's just double check. So that's a little tight. So let's just go ahead and grab this train track, and if we just pop that down a little, I don't think that's gonna affect... Oh, I used the wrong highway there. Let's bring this up a little too, just cuz. And then that should be plenty of space. I don't mind that it being fairly tight. I think that's kind of fine. So we'll get that in, and then we should be able to just go back over those to... Oh, no, now we're not getting rid of the trees with that, but that's okay. All right, and then let's carry on here. So we'll go from here, and I think we'll kind of cut in this way. See what our slope is going down a little bit. So we'll just bring that up to there, and through here, and then back out, and we'll keep that up. All right, so I think that oh, look at that, the ambulance even came all the way out here to find the person. How did the ambulance get out there? Off-road ambulance. Yeah, I mean, this highway feels very, I mean, kind of just way out of the way, like you think it would go this way, but, you know, there's a lot of mountains here, like, I guess, and the train track was likely here first, historically. I think the only thing you could do is put this highway over and have it wrap around like that, which might actually be kind of cool. But I really just don't want to mess with the topography. I think you'd have to, you know, go around. It looks silly from up here, I think, but I think when you're driving on it, it wouldn't feel any weirder than any other kind of canyon mountain pass type highway. So we're gonna stick with it. All right, and then from here, we'll carry on to about here. Now we got to figure out what's going to happen with this. So I think first thing, let's convert some of these to 2 lanes so that we'll have places to put our on-ramps on. And on this side, yeah, probably the same. Roughly. So obviously we're going to need to also turn this into an elevated section, at least part of it, because we're going to need to go underneath. So we will kind of do that, and then let's go with slope tool here, and I guess just kind of bring, let's see, so from here, just want to kind of bring this down kind of like that. And that did not get turned into a bridge. And again, we're going to add a node because I just don't want all of that to be bridge, at least yet, unless, you know, we figure out we kind of have to. So there, and then we'll get rid of this. Okay, so let's try this, just a little bit of this slope, cut that in a little earlier, and from here, and then we can kind of just smooth some of that out. So I keep making these kind of T-bone intersections. You know, we've got this one, and we've got this one, and I keep trying to find like different ways to, and this one technically, and I keep trying to find different ways to do it other than just doing kind of like the trombone or the trumpet intersection, and it works. There's a reason that people do it, because it works. So I think we're gonna go with that. So let's take our 4-lane a little farther here. And make sure that we have our elevation. And we're just going to take that to about here. And then we'll turn that into a, well, let's split off here. And see if we can't just connect our outer lane. So we'll just get that kind of going. Smooth that up, and we'll do the same thing over here. And all right, so now we should be able to basically get that in there. There's certainly some jank going on there. And then we'll take the 2-lane highway right out of the middle here and take that. Maybe I should have done that first. Let's see. So roughly that works. No, it does not. Completely forgot. I'm like, oh, I don't want to do a trumpet, but we're going to, and then I just didn't. So that is great. All right, let's try that one more time here. So actually, we're going to need to clear out a little bit of room for this. So we'll just... I hate cutting into these natural mountains because I've said before, you can't kind of get them back, but we need the space. So I think we can do this on a little bit of a slope, though. If we kind of get something like that going, it can look like a more natural... You know, they cut into this mountain to build this, but, you know, tried to maintain as much of it as they can. So, okay, so this is going to need to go basically coming like, let's see. So from here, we'll need this guy to come out. Going this way. So that can wrap around to about here. This is going great so far. Wrong highway. And we merged with some stuff. Okay, this is going great, guys. This is really some of my finest work. So we're gonna turn snapping off, I think, because I think that's kind of getting in my way here. We also don't need this all to be elevated. So we'll put that there, and then to here. And then we can kind of basically get this there. And we'll take one off of this. There we go. Now we're getting it. And we'll raise this up. And that. And then this guy can come and let's see, get that more like that. All right, I think we got there. That was a bit of a struggle. There it is. So I'm just gonna go through here real quick and clean this up so it does not look quite so janky. All right, so I think that will work. Obviously, there's some more detail in the landscape with trees and textures and surfaces and all that. But terraforming wise, I think that looks pretty good. And as kind of cliche and maybe redundant as they are, these kind of trumpet intersections do look very good. So yeah, we have that. Now let's come over here, and this was a kind of a road situation I threw in very hastily to see if I could alleviate a little bit of kind of that traffic coming off that highway that we shouldn't have anymore. So we can get rid of that, and a lot of this actually just was really just thrown in. So with this here, it's a little tough actually, because that's, well, actually we can raise it up. I was gonna say this is where I wanted to kind of put this off ramp and all this trains here, but it might be kind of fun to do like an elevated kind of thing. So we can take, let's go ahead and think about on the other side. I think we're good. On this side, let's go ahead and turn this into kind of an elevated section here. So let's turn on some key walls, and we'll just raise this up, not that much. Kind of get this coming up like that, and then but actually we're going to want this to be highway. This can be the kind of the entrance right here, and then we'll turn this into a two-way section, and that, although I think that's going to be quite a bit too long. So let's see if we maybe do it. So this will come out and wrap around here, and this will come out and come off like that. So we probably only needed about maybe here. And then on this side, that one actually might be okay. We'll see. So let's go ahead and replace this one. Get that kind of lined up there. And we can get rid of that. And then I guess we can actually bring this a little farther along here. Maybe to about there. And then let's see how this fits. So elevated, kind of like that, and I'm going the other way. There we go. There was a, looks like there was a snapping setting off, and it just wasn't grabbing stuff. There it is. I think what we can actually do, so I think this is the right idea, but I think we need to bring all of this forward a little more. So we're going to take our regular road, and extend it to about there. And then from here, we'll come up over the train track. And then let's try the same thing again, but just not quite as far off. And so it looks like also we can bring this back more like here. Kind of get that right in about there. Oop. Well, that one really does not want to snap. I don't know why this keeps getting turned off. There we go. Yeah. That's going to be a little snug. Oh, these should have all been elevated. And this too. There we go. We're cutting it a little tight on that, so let's move this guy back a bit, and we can start bringing that up a little steeper. It looks like we've got a train coming, actually, so let's... Oh, nice move, semi. And the train turned, of course. I think that's enough clearance, though. We can always check with one of these. Yep, that's enough. So that'll work for that side. I just wanted you to be able to come out of the town here, out of Daly City, and have a straight shot. You can get off here. This is going to be real busy, but I think that's going to be okay. And then, well, let's just hit play actually and see. I mean, this should all fit now. So I think there will probably be, once we get some roads over here, there probably will be some off ramps here to get directly on here. So if you're going here from oh, this changed names now. From the Sierra Pass Highway. So if you're coming off the Sierra Pass Highway and trying to get here, you don't have to go all the way up here and down and off and back. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But it looks like people are using this. So that is working. This does feel very out of the way. Let me know what do we... This guy is still here. I keep getting distracted by this, but mid-sentence. I don't actually even see... Oh, waiting for ambulance. Oh boy, you're gonna be... Yikes. We're gonna wait a long time. Let me know what you guys think about this, and if it makes more sense. If it, we could do the highway kind of crossing, you could either turn here and cross, or it could kind of go along this above and kind of wrap around out here and go that way. So the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm kind of talking myself into it. We'll leave this for now, but I might update that unless people are super against it, or if we'll definitely do it if people are super for it. So let me know. But yeah, we'll see where the traffic starts kind of getting locked up. I have a feeling this stretch might be a lot, but luckily it's not too long. If you're, if you're coming this way and your ultimate goal is to go this way, you're going to take this off ramp onto here, and oh, that doesn't connect, does it? There's no way to get going. If you go in this way, oh, we're going to need another. Interesting. Okay. Well, figuring out problems in real time. All right. Well, that can kind of be figured out. I think for now, though, let's take a look at getting some of this stuff up and running. All right. So I just want to kind of get a framework for this industrial area's layout just from a high level standpoint, and figure out a little bit what's going on here and a little bit what's going on here with this highway. So I had kind of made this interesting little thing where, if you exit here, you can get back on going on to 280 this way. You could also switch over and get off the highway onto the street, as well as get on the street and exit here. And it's a little weird. I don't know that it's even remotely realistic, but I also realize that there's no way to get, if you're coming up from this way, there's no way to get on 80 going east. So I think what we're going to end up doing is not making this. So I don't think we need this exit here when the highway we'll have another exit over there. I think that having trucks being able to get on and off from our ports here is going to be more important. So I'm going to remove this and end up turning this in. I'm going to do something similar, but a little different. So we're going to let that be the off-ramp, or the kind of interchange that it is. So we'll switch this all the way to just a 1 lane, I think is really all we need here. Without that super, let's just kind of rework that. Just kind of get that in there and coming back into there. We don't have the lane math working super well in our favor here, but that's okay in this particular case, I think. And then I think we can also get a off-ramp coming in like that, but what I also want to do is get this guy coming around like about here maybe, and then get kind of a transfer thing going like that, and we'll flip this around, we'll flip that around, and then we can also let this be. I wonder if we really need. Yeah, because that was going to be for people coming over that way. So let's smooth this out a little bit. I'm kind of making this up as I go. So like that, and then we can kind of bring this in to there. It's weird. You'd think it would be smoother for the roads to mix on a curve like this, but they often get real weird about that, like when the curve is too smooth. So I think that should work a little better. And then let's see, I think let's turn this into a double, and then I think we can still get this kind of coming in like that, but going the other way, of course. And it's probably going to be a little weird on the steepness, so we can bring that down. And that's actually not too bad. And then let's see, this is going to be not ideal for the folks that live here. Sorry about that. But I think we're just going to need to pull off something there. Boy, these are really not clipping in today. So something from there. And then converging like that. And let's just kind of clean up some of these trees. All right, so now you've got an off-ramp coming this way, and you can get on there. You can flip around and go the other way. If you're coming up this way, you can get onto this guy or keep going straight. So that's going to add a little bit more flexibility there. And then I want to take this road and bring that just straight across up to about there. We'll have a railroad crossing here. Is there a little kind of weird bump there? There we go. And then I think actually this is going to need to wrap around a little differently. So we'll take our parallel 2 lanes, and I think these are probably, I've been keeping these pretty close. Yep. So we'll just kind of bring these right in. Actually, let's do our road first so we have somewhere to meet with it. 4-lane road. Let's do a 4-lane divided road. Actually, let's do a 4-lane asymmetrical road. Oh, that's not the kind of asymmetrical I was thinking it would be. I guess I was thinking it'd be 3 on one and 2 on the other, not 2 on one. So let's see. That's what I want, and I don't need the parking. This is what I want. There we go, 5-lane. Yep. So I think we're gonna actually switch it to go the other way. There we go. And then now we can take our highway, and we're starting about maybe there. We'll turn off the symmetry and try to kind of line these up with that. And actually, it might just make more sense to do this part as the highway. Yeah. And then we'll do 2 from there. And yeah, I think that'll work. So the trucks can really in and out and get to where they need to go. And then for this train route, let's see. So our main train line is back over here. Someone also suggested to replace the landfill with, I think it was it the incinerator plant? Or in special facility for most data. Yeah, I don't need the toxic stuff. Yeah, for this, which I think we're gonna do actually. So I'm gonna pause it here, and we're gonna get rid of this. It takes up a weird space, and it doesn't look great. The landfill space, unfortunately. And I just think I'm gonna need a little more space for where I want this train track to go. So actually, let's even get rid of this for the moment. Let's do our train track here first. So that's just a single line. An extra track, freely placeable, non-electrified track for loading to increase freight handling capacity. So that's what we have. So we can add an extended warehouse. This might be nice. So actually, I wonder. Let's see. We need to get rid of that. This way, Warehouse. Delete. So if we put this track over here, I wonder if that. If that's all you need for that. And then I could put the warehouse on put a road here. I feel like this other track has to be connected to something. Yeah, we're gonna not do that, I think. Delete that. And then we are gonna do the extra warehouse though, because I think that looks pretty good. Okay. So then I guess we just need a single two-way track here. And yeah, we'll bring this basically just along the edge of this road. And here. And then kind of just bring it straight down to about there. And then have it meet up here. Oh, but I think at some point we actually should probably turn this into a double so that people can bypass. That's a long stretch of probably just the whole thing, actually, right? Because otherwise that's a real long stretch of trains having to wait for each other. And then yeah, there we go. So that should get us some industrial train traffic, and then we can bring this road, I think may not want to make that intersection too close to that highway. So I'm just gonna like do something kind of like that. That'll also give this stuff power, so yes, it should. And sewage. Oh, I'm paused. There we go. So that should get rid of. There we go. Sweet. All right. So those are also turned off now, just so that we don't. Not that we're spending any money, but. And then we can run. Just for highway traffic's sake, I'm going to take a 2-lane road here and run it to about there. And then I think we can get our other off-ramp going on here. So we'll convert these to elevated 2 lanes. And then let's see if we just go with something kind of like that, we should be able to then pull in an off-ramp that kind of is coming like this, and then one kind of doing the opposite here. And yeah, I think the slope on those is pretty good. Let's get these on some key walls. And this one too. And you can probably also just turn this into a main, some sort of main artery going like that, but not key walled. There we go. And we should probably cross the road. Oh, this is actually not even. I thought this was the railroad. That's this the road. So that mixes like that. Well, okay. Now let's look at. So we will do the incinerator plant. I think kind of tacking this up next to the railroad is kind of nice. And provides increased waste burning. Great. Much larger. Yeah, we're going to need a lot of... 75 garbage trucks. My God. And allows for larger garbage to be stored. So yeah, so let's go ahead and throw a little kind of service road in there. We'll make this kind of, this whole corner of this facility. And we can throw in a couple of these, and then this will need to be... Well, these do have the chimneys, which I don't love. And we cannot get rid of them. Well, that's all right. It is what it is. We're going to need to have some sort of chimney eventually, I suppose. The smoke is just so blown out. I mean, like, it's just like a literally white blob. I don't know why it's quite so overexposed, but and then behind it, let's see if there's... Oh, we can go with a transfer center here. Transformers, good lord. Kind of run a road back here, and throw that in, and then that we can connect underground. There we go. And our fleet of garbage trucks is out on its way. So we'll get some more deep... Man, they are really piling out. 78 of 75. Well, I will say, I hope... By putting that that lambs fill out here, we did crack down on quite a bit of this garbage piling up, but this, I would think, will eliminate that for good. And then there was some other stuff, some big stuff that we'd been waiting to place down. So like I was kind of thinking maybe... Almost really like the oil refinery kind of tucked in here, but the fuel plant and the vehicle factory was a big one to throw in somewhere here. And the chemical plant, I feel like I want to keep... Oh, the kind of computer chip place. I think that one will be that's a good one to throw in, maybe like right here. And also the pharmacy, the pharma one. Let's build some roads. So we'll maybe make this parking for this, so we can get a road in here, and we'll get that connected all the way to there. And then probably another one here that can come... let's get kind of some road doing like that. That might... Well, I don't want this to be like perfectly gridded, but also don't want it to be too crazy. So then the... What was it? The pharmaceutical plant. We can maybe put in here. Do these have add-ons at all? I don't think they do, no. Boy, the garbage trucks are still rolling out. So yeah, there is this Autumn Street here is there's gonna be some traffic here, but you know, it's a city. It's a big spot. There's gonna be traffic, just the way it is. And then the vehicle factory, I think probably we might make this its own. Like, this thing is huge, so we might just make this kind of its own complex back there. The fuel plant or the oil refinery, chemical plant. Yeah, we're gonna put this kind of stuff really tucked away back here. This also, putting this here, well, no, the highway, that potential highway would go there, so this is still going to be fine. So we can kind of stick that right about there. This looks like this interchange is really seeing work. But it has alleviated, you know, there's not like that. We were having traffic all the way down Foggy Street here. So I think bypassing that on to the Sierra Pass Highway through this interchange has been working out really well. So this, I don't think I want it to be blue. Yeah, that looks better. And what else do we have? Chemical plant, fuel plant. I feel like this kind of stuff we can kind of put some of this in here. So let's get kind of a big road going in there. And then we'll get a smaller one kind of running out this way. And I think we can, let's just smooth this out a bit, get rid of some of these smaller little elevation bumps. And then we can throw, I think it was just going to be, oh no, I guess we were going to go with this one. So yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm thinking some of the inner East Bay, kind of Richmond area where there is a big fuel plant in the Bay Area, right off the highway, along the bay, very similar to this, in the Richmond area of the Bay Area. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So yeah, that I think is going to work. And then for this, in terms of this kind of being its own complex, I think we can kind of give it its own little road network here, so that this can work. Oop, this can work in about like that. And how many people work at this thing? Yeah, 300. So let's get some parking in for some of these places. So we're going to go with some of these bigger lots that we don't really get to use. And then suddenly they don't seem so big, do they? Wait a minute. There's there like a really big one? Boy, I guess that's, oh, there we go. That's kind of the really big one. But oh, actually, you know what? We got room here. Let's make our own. So no, let's just do regular. So let's just kind of make our own kind of employee parking lot here. About like that, and then we can connect it like this, and just get like a main feeder in there and get rid of all these crosswalks. Boom, 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 boom. And we can probably scoot this one in a little bit. And actually, let's even move this one away. We'll have some room for some hedgerows or something, just to kind of decorate this up a bit. And yeah, that'll work, I think, for that. For these other ones, I mean, we could do the same thing, but let's see if some of these bigger ones, let's run a road just a small, we'll go an alleyway, I think. Probably like this, and then we can run a couple of those. That kind of fit perfectly. And I think we'll do the same for this. We'll run an alleyway. Keep it on this side, maybe. And I take it back. Let's put it on the other side so that we have some room to... Well, actually, that might make more sense. I was going to say, this is an awkward shape, so we want to fill it in with some stuff, but maybe the parking lot takes up most of it, and then we can just fill that in with some kind of an empty lot or something like that. So we'll get that in. All right, I think that's a pretty good start here for our big industrial area. This road is, this little section is driving me nuts here, but maybe if we can connect this. Oop. Kind of like that. And then we can kind of cut this off like that. I think maybe what we do then with this actually is put that at a better angle. Like that. Yeah, that feels better. All right, I'm gonna go through and really just fill all this stuff in with a lot more industry. And immediately, look how much more demand now we're getting for low family or low density residential. So we've created, let's find out. Let's make this a new district. So this is just going to be one, I think, big kind of industrial zone. Meadows is a hysterical name for this. So actually, we'll go with, well, with this one, I think this little area, we will just call this, this one, I think we will go with Richmond. And, I'm not sure what we'll come up with a name for this, something industrial, but just with these few things, we've already got 1,000 jobs. So that's going to really go up quite a bit once we get, all this other little stuff filled in with. We got no jobs here because we do have jobs, even though these are not actually turned on. But I guess we might as well let's get these going and connected. We might as well get some ships coming in. So ship cargo. Oh, they already are integrated, but in a very kind of weird way here. Let's kind of get like that, and then there we go. And cargo ship routes. So we'll get one, I guess, going all the way up north and back, and then one going out west and back, one going out this way, and then one going, one going from here. Why that one's not? Oh, I guess down to here and back. And then I think we can, this is looking a little janky actually. So there will be some more industry over there, but I think let's clean this up a bit. So we have, we don't really need the shipping lane to come in there. Let's pause this real quick. So yeah, we should have done this. Should have done this first. So I think we can get kind of this main shipping line going that way, and then one kind of going that way. And oh, and then kind of get this coming in here and this doing something like that. And then that should be everything connected. There we go. All right. So now we have all of our shipping routes connected. This is up and running. We should start seeing stuff. And yeah. All right. I'm going to go through and fill more of this out. All right, so that I think is a decent start. Lots to fill in, but you can kind of see where we're going, and kind of the bones of this are, are there. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there for today. I think we got a lot done, and we'll come back next time and really round this out, kind of get our oil situation going on here. And I think we're going to need some more residential here, as our demand for high density residential is very high. Obviously, we're not going to be leaning into much of that, like skyscraper wise, over here, but we are certainly going to need a lot of apartments and a lot of stuff to house people that are working out here. Maybe we get kind of a row house district going on somewhere over here, that kind of thing. And of course, we'll extend a bit of our kind of commercial midtown area. So there'll certainly be some more residential in here. Maybe we got a lot of row houses going on there. So as always, thanks everybody for watching, and everyone who's been subscribing. Really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye.